What a great dancer you are. Oh my gosh, it just, what talent. I do want to mention one thing. Earlier in the show we had WMHT on, and I find out that your sponsor for this show is WMHT.
Yes, they've been our fabulous media sponsor for many years.
How great, how nice. You have a great concert coming up. Very interesting. Musicians of Malik.
Yes, we're doing a concert titled Against All Obstacles of Nature, and that refers to a letter by Beethoven describing his utter despair about losing his hearing. And of course...
How old was he when he lost his hearing?
About 27.
So he had full use of his ears, he understood, and then when he lost it, it must have been like...
He almost took his own life.
Yeah.
And he was devastated, and he didn't know how he would maintain his validity in the public eye.
Exactly. That was his identity. Absolutely.
And who can say they're a composer when they can't hear what they're writing? But yet, somehow, he overcame this and did, of course, not take his own life, and his most productive years were still ahead of him. His greatest masterpieces were still ahead of him.
So what did he do when he was deaf? I mean, what was some of the music that he wrote?
All the symphonies.
Well, that covers
including the ninth.
Yeah.
His opera Fidelio, the great string quartets, the great piano concertos.
I just can't even, in the first place, I cannot even imagine writing a symphony and thinking about all the sounds that come from different instruments.
Right.
I mean, in hearing, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine what it's like when you can no longer hear.
Well, there's this incredible story. It's not a story, it's a real account of Beethoven being invited to conduct the premiere of the Ninth Symphony, his final symphony. And of course, he can't hear. So he's conducting and he doesn't realize that the orchestra has finished playing. And they have to turn him around. It's an amazing story, and it's a sad story, but yet he triumphs over this. I mean, he just sort of perseveres, as do all the composers on this program. They're overwhelmed by this, they're devastated by it.
I did not realize that there was more than Beethoven. We've always heard about Beethoven.
Well, Beethoven is the most obvious example, and his hearing loss is the most profound and probably the earliest manifested. But Faure lost his hearing when he was fairly young, in his 40s. So did Smetana when he was in his 50s. And Smetana, in some ways, we're going to be reading some of the letters at the concert from the composers talking about dealing with this. And Smetana takes it the hardest, I think, in some ways, and is the most personally despondent about it.
Well, it's an incredible concept to address hearing loss, because we have people in our everyday life that we know that have hearing problems. And I'm sure they're devastated, but when the loss, everybody's afraid to lose their hearing.
Of course.
But to see how people so talented overcame that and were able to go on and persevere when sound was essential for what they did. I just want to make sure you're,
okay. Yes.
It was so essential to what they're doing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So where is this concert?
The concert is at the First Reformed Church in the Schenectady Stockade, which is this wonderful, historic location.
Beautiful.
It's a beautiful place to have a concert.
It is.
And we have Pastor Bill Levering reading these letters before we play each piece.
So that's, oh my gosh.
So people will be able to hear experience exactly what the composer...
Make that connection.
Exactly. And all these pieces that we have included in the program were written after they suffered the hearing loss. We also have a world premiere on the program by Richard Einhorn, who will be there, who was a Grammy Award-winning composer who lost his hearing about 5 years ago, overnight lost his hearing, and dealing with the same thing. And he'll be there to talk about it live, and then we'll be doing this world premiere that he wrote for us.
Now, I noticed that when I looked at the write-up, it was at 2:15. If you come early, that you'll have a
talk.
That's his pre-concert.
Yes, and then the concert is at 3. We're also doing a free preview on Wednesday, February 12th at 11:30 at the Community College.
Oh, nice.
And then Richard is giving a separate talk about the obstacles of dealing with composing with hearing loss, and it's open to anybody, but I think music students will be very interested. He's a very engaging speaker, very intelligent man, very gifted composer.
And I love, because you always have some really neat themes with some of your music.
Thanks.
Are you going to do an opera again? You did
I hope so.
That was
That's
fun.
in the back of my mind, or
maybe
not quite the back, a little further forward, but
Yeah.
Still a little bit off.
You can go to their website to find out where their concerts are and what their concerts are. Do you have another one coming up after this? Probably one more in May.
We have two
May?
more,
Oh,
actually.
two more, okay.
We have another one at the Schuyler Mansion in April, and then
Oh, yeah,
we
that's
have
great.
another one back at the church, which is Buxtehude, basically the Stations of the Cross for Holy Saturday, Good Friday. Which
Nice,
should be
nice.
Yes.
Well, if you want to hear some really wonderful music, it's chamber type music.
Chamber music,
yeah,
yes.
chamber music. And if you don't know what that is, then go and find out, right?
I guarantee
go.
you'll enjoy it.
You're going to love it.
Yes.
You really will. I can guarantee it. It's a way to explore new avenues of music because I love all kinds of music. So I'm a sucker for anything.
Well, I think hearing these letters paired with the
Yeah.
music, and they're beautiful pieces that we're playing, will be very poignant for people.
Yeah, I hope to attend that. So
Excellent.
thank you very much and we've been talking with Anne-Marie Schwartz. She's a director of the Musicians of Malwick. Go to their website. It's really a nice website too.
Thank you.
Yeah,
We just updated it.
You updated it, yeah.
Yes.
And I love it. So
Thank you.
check it out, and you can go and hear a wonderful concert on the, let me get the date, the 15th, is it?
The 15th,
Yeah, the
Saturday the
15th.
15th.
And there is a phone number that we put up there, how you can reach them if you want to find out more about it. How do they get tickets?
They can get tickets either at the door because the church has quite a large capacity, or they can go to our website, or they can call me, and the number's on the website.
Great. Anne-Marie Schwartz, musician of Malwick, and a dancer beside.